Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This one will be my February TBR, which is picked by my TBR jar. These are my favourite videos to watch every month, so I thought it would be fun to actually film one myself. I'm a bit of a mood reader, so I think I'm going to pick 7 or 8 prompts just to give myself a bit of variety. I don't imagine I'll get through all of the books, especially because February is a shorter month than the rest, but I think giving myself a wider variety to choose between is a better way to approach the TBR. If you have any suggestions for prompts, definitely leave them down in the comments. But I'm just going to go ahead and get into my first pick. This is really overflowing, so it's going to be hard to pick just as well. Let's go for this one. Ooh, new release. Okay, I'm going to go for one that actually comes out in February. I have the arc of it on my Kindle, and that is B.K. Borison's new book, which is First Time Caller. I firstly love the cover of this book. It looks so pretty. I really want to get a physical copy of it, but obviously I already have it on my Kindle, so I'm just going to read it on my Kindle. I got it through NetGalley, and I'm currently reading the last book in B.K. Borison's Love Like Farms series, and I'm obsessed. I read one of the books last year, and then I've read the other 3 literally in January. So I'm on a bit of a B.K. Borison kick, and I just think I will probably read this book anyway, and I'd love to read it before it comes out, but even if I just read it around the time it comes out, it will be amazing. So I think that's going to be my first pick. Pick number 2. This one. Oh, my current favorite genre. So my 2 favorite genres, like, generally are romance and fantasy. I have been kind of, I think, in a fantasy slump. I was rereading Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in preparation for Onyx Storm, and I think the anticipation of getting to Onyx Storm put me in such a slump that I never even finished my reread of Iron Flame. I'm still in the middle of that. So I think that currently my favourite genre is romance. I have a lot of romance on my physical TBR as well as my Kindle TBR, but my priority is my physical TBR. So I'm going to have a look and see what I have that I want to get to. I am also trying to prioritise finishing series that I'm in the middle of, or that I only have 1 book left of, so maybe I'll have a think about that as well. Okay, so I've come up with 2 options. One is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. This is the last book in the Twisted series. I have really mixed feelings about this series in general. I loved the first book, Twisted Love. I was actually really obsessed with it. I have 2 copies of that book, but the second and third book really felt quite flat for me, which I think is why it's taken me so long to get to the last one, because I just don't anticipate myself loving it. I think the first couple was just like really great in terms of their chemistry, but the tropes in the second one weren't my favourite, and then the third book I really thought I was going to like the couple because they were the one I was most anticipating reading, and I just didn't like it at all. It's one of my least, it's one of my lowest rated romance books. So I don't know what I will think of this one, but I just kind of want to finish the series, to be honest. And then my other option would be The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I've actually never read a Catherine Center book before, but I'm kind of thinking I might do a reading vlog for Valentine's, which is like reading pink books. So this could be quite a fun one to pick for that. And obviously it did really well on the Goodreads Choice Awards last year. So I don't know. This one does sound really intriguing, but I think because I'm trying to finish series, I might go for Twisted Lies, even though I'm not super excited about this one. I probably would just listen to the audiobook. That's what I did for the third one in this series, and I did fly through it, so maybe I'll just do that. It is quite a big one, but it'll be good to like actually finish the series. Okay, number 3. Let's go for this one. A 2 word title. I think there'll be lots of options on my shelf for this, and that kind of gives me like space to pick any genre as well, which is great. I mean, we literally just discussed this, so maybe I'm just gonna go for this one. The rom-commers. I'm classing rom-commers as one word because it's like hyphenated. But yeah, I think this will be great for a vlog I want to film this month. And yeah, I'd really like to try Catherine Center book. This one is kind of about like a screenwriter, and yeah, it's about a screenwriter and it's kind of like enemies to lovers. So I'm hoping this one will be a lot of fun, and it's quite short, so it should be quite easy to get through. Fourth pick. They're all stuck together. I'm gonna go for this one, which is, ooh, use a random number generator. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do for that is pick out a couple of books that I'm interested in reading and then choose between them, rather than doing my entire physical TBR, because that would just be too many, I think. So let me just select a few from my physical TBR that I'm interested in reading this month. So I've picked out 5 that I'd be interested in reading this month, and I'm gonna tell you now which ones they are and then assign numbers to them. So number 1 will be Light Lark by Alex Astor. This is the first book in a fantasy series. This I need to get to either in February or March because I'm reading it with my friends. We have like a kind of a book club, and we didn't really say when we were reading it, but I think the first few months of the year. So I do want to get to it. One of my friends has already read it and she didn't really like it, so I'm intrigued to see what I think of it. But I know it has like kind of enemies to lovers vibes in it, which is one of my favorite tropes, so I'm intrigued. Number 2 will be Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I don't really know anything about what this one's about, and I don't really want to know what it's about. I just know that it's by Ali Hazelwood. I love her books, normally give them all 4 or 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure this is one of her like scientist STEM kind of vibe ones, but could be wrong. Then I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which will be number 3. I've had this on my shelves for ages, but I've had a real inkling to read this recently. And I got The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. I've tried to read this before. I've only got like 50 or so pages in. This is the final book in the Off-Campus series, which is one of my favorite series ever. I'm so annoyed that I haven't finished this, but it's kind of like a bonus story, and it's kind of like following all the couples after their own books, which is why I haven't read it. But I need to get to this so that I feel like I can read her new series following the children. So yeah, I want to read this soon. And then for number 5, I have Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, which is I think her When in Rome series. I didn't love the first one, but everyone hyped this one up so much, so I am excited to try and get to this one. I also have the 3rd one on my Kindle as an ARC, so I need to read this so I can read the 3rd one. So I'm going to do a random number generator now. So between 1 and 5, and that's chosen number 1. Even though I'm not massively in the fantasy mood at the moment, it sounds like I will be reading Light Lark in February, which is good because I need to read it with my book club with my friends. And yeah, I think I will actually fly through this because I think it's kind of similar vibes to Caraval in that it's like circus. Again, I could be really wrong. I don't really like to know much about the synopsis before I read a book, so sorry if these synopses are really bad. When I read them, or whatever reading vlogs I put them in, you'll get a better synopsis. But yeah, I think it's kind of Caraval vibes, but with more like dark undertones. So yeah, looking forward to getting to this one. So for number 5, we've got this one. Ooh, Friends to Lovers. This is actually my favourite romance trope ever. I always like say, is it enemies to lovers? Is it friends to lovers? But I actually think friends to lovers is my favourite just because the pining is so much more like intense, because it's always like, should we tell the person that we have feelings, or is it going to ruin the friendship? So I just love the friends to lovers trope so much. So let me see if I can find what ones are on my shelves that are friends to lovers. I actually don't know what ones are before I pick them up most of the time, so this will be interesting. Okay, I actually think I know which one I'm going to pick, and it is going to be a reread, but I want to read the second book because I got it for Christmas, and I think I want to read the first one like again just to refresh my memory. So I think I'm going to pick Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which is one of my favorite books ever, and I don't really read very much YA anymore, but it is so good. So Better Than the Movies is about Liz and Wes, and Liz has basically, Wes is her neighbour, and they've always kind of hated each other. They just always get in each other's way and like aggravate one another. So it is kind of enemies to lovers, but it becomes friends to lovers. So she has a crush on one of the other boys at her school, and she kind of gets Wes on board to help her make this other boy fall in love with her. So they end up spending loads of time together, and that's when like the friendship becomes like part of the story, and it's so cute. There's so many movie references throughout, and I really want to get to the next one in the series, Nothing Like the Movies, which follows them going to college. So yeah, I think I'm going to reread Better Than the Movies, and maybe then I'll get to Nothing Like the Movies either in March, or if I'm really into it, I'll read it this month as well. So I think that's going to be my reread. I'll probably do the audiobook because I did the audiobook the first time and it was so good. So yeah, that will be my Friends to Lovers pick. Yay! So book number 6. I'm having so much fun. Let's go for this one. Oh, Enemies to Lovers. Well, great. We've got both areas of the spectrum covered, so that's good. What do I want to read for Enemies to Lovers? I think I was trying to get lots of romance onto my TBR because I think it's like February and it's just fun to read lots of romance around Valentine's. But also I'm just in a massive romance mood at the moment. I think it's just going to help me fly through books if I'm reading romance, so it makes sense. Maybe I will finally get around to reading Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, to be honest. This is Enemies to Lovers. I think they're working in opposing companies, and the company of the guy is trying to take over the female company, the female protagonist's company. So she's worried she's going to lose her job, so she kind of hates him. And basically all of Ali Hazelwood's books that I have read have the Enemies to Lovers trope, and they are so addictive. So I really hope I can fly through this one. So second to last pick, number 7. Go for this one. Oops, they're all falling out. Oh, a one-word title. We're really getting like the ones that kind of pair well together this month. Like we've had 2-word title, 1-word title, Enemies to Lovers, Friends to Lovers. So for 1-word title, I think I'm going to pick Spiral by Bao Cabra. This I have as an e-arc on my Kindle. I don't know massively, again, what this one is about. I read the first one in the series. I want to say last year, maybe it was the year before, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favourite romance book ever. I think I maybe gave it 4 stars, so I still really enjoyed it. Yeah. So it is a hockey player and a ballet dancer. I used to do ballet. I really like dance topics in books and like just in media in general. Like I love watching dance shows and dance competitions and stuff. So I think I'll actually really enjoy this one even more than the last one. So yeah, that one I think is going to be my 1-word title. I know I'm trying to get my physical TBR down, but I also really do need to read my books that I've got off NetGalley so I can put like reviews out. So yeah, it's good to get a bit of both. And then the final pick, I'm so sad it's over. Let's see what the last one is. Hopefully it's a good one. Oh, it looks like quite a long one. Oh, shuffle my current Spotify playlist and pick a book that fits the mood of the song. That's a really fun one to end on. Okay. My current Spotify playlist, I try and make one every season so that I'm listening to like different songs and not just the same thing over and over again. Get my latest one on, which is Winter Vibes, and let's see what song comes on. Oh, Ghost of You by 5 Seconds of Summer. Honestly, 5 Seconds of Summer are so underrated in my opinion. They used to be my favourite band. I've seen them live so many times, and Ghost of You is such a great song. I have just had the best idea of what I should read for Ghost of You. For Ghost of You by 5 Seconds of Summer, I am going to pick The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, or Poston, I'm not sure how you say her surname, sorry. I have had this book for so long and I always put off reading it because it is a ghost romance, which is why I said it was like the perfect one for this song. But everyone says it's really good and everyone loves this author. I've not read anything by her except for a like novella, which I didn't particularly love, but I don't think it gave her like the proper, well, it didn't give me the proper chance to explore her writing. So I'm excited to try this one. But yeah, I feel like this suits the song perfectly, and it's actually given me an opportunity to get it off my TBR. So yeah, oh, I'm so excited about this one now. I feel like I've got some really good picks on my TBR this month. So these are like my physical ones that I've got. So just to go through it again, we've got The Dead Romantics, which was for shuffling my Spotify playlist and matching the song to the book, which was Ghost of You by 5 Seconds of Summer. Then we have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, which was an Enemies to Lovers. We have Light Lark by Alex Astor, which was a random number generator. For a 2-word title, we have The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. For my current favourite genre, we're reading Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. And then the books that we're reading on my Kindle, a 1-word title, we're reading Spiral by Bao Cabra. For new release, we're reading First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Probably an audiobook read, to be honest, is better than the movies by Lynn Painter, which is also a reread. So yes, oh my god, such a great TBR. Let me know what you're reading this month, and if you've read any of the books on my TBR, which ones you'd recommend. Yeah, and I'll see you later on in the month for some other videos.